and gentlemen, members of this House, good afternoon. Before going to my main argument, let me say first the weak points of the government side. First is that the Prime Minister had said earlier that only God can take man's life. Without statement, in imprisoning a person and making him rotten and live and be rotten in the jail. Can you call that as God's choice to take his life? Second is man believes life is precious. So, again, the word rotten given by the Prime Minister of the government side opposes the statement she has said. A third weak point of the Prime Minister is the criminals shouldn't have justice. Ladies and gentlemen, members of this House, are criminals not human? I will now proceed to my main argument. Later. Why is it that when a person goes into prison, it tends to be punished instead of being reformed? Ladies and gentlemen, members of this House, Mr. Adjudicator, I have here the reasons and scenes inside the prison that can prove that prison is no longer better. First is isolation. In isolation, a prison is separated from the general prison population. The longer he is isolated, the greater psychological effect, he could have. Instead of allowing the prisoners to rediscover their own conscience, it creates psychological effects such as delusions, dissatisfaction to life, depression, feelings of panic, and most of the time, madness. Madness that would left the prisoner to think crime as soon as he gets out in the prison. Second is the pain of confinement. The prisoner is deprived psychologically and experiences moral rejection. He has less trust, less respect from the society. That's why he moves limitedly. Yes.
The opposition leader has just acknowledging of what I have said earlier, that rehabilitation is part of prison. But you have just said that prison is for punishment and all. Remember that in rehabilitation there is reformation.
Madam Speaker,
Another
Opposition Whip will give you more information
so
about
that's
it.
why it's really intelligent what we're saying.
Third, ladies and gentlemen, members of this House, is the hierarchy. The worst crime committed by a prisoner, the higher the power he could exercise among his enemies. Those prisoners at the bottom of the hierarchy are looked down upon and harassed by those in the top. This is very true, ladies and gentlemen, members of this House. Fourth is the physical and psychological victimization. When we talk about physical victimization, it talks about a deadly weapon. And why is that so? It is because of the easy access of having that said deadly weapon. The deadly weapon. And if it is not physical injury, it results to disruption of social relationships that sometimes caused by the insult of his inmates. Fifth is rape. Members of this House, even in prison, rape exists. Some prisoners commit this sinful act with the intent of sexual satisfaction. Life offenders are usually the victims of prison rape and cause them into stress, denial, nightmares, and real inability to sleep, and of course, phobias, criminal activity, and some form of destructive behavior. And worse is the societal tendency. Six is the crowding, which is very obvious in the building setting. Aside from the health security, the increase of the prisoners increases the negative psychological effects. Anxiety, tension, hostility, and emotional discomfort. And the eighth scenario is the riot. Riots exist mostly because it is one way for the prisoners to protest. Protest of having an inadequate food, overcrowding in filthy cells, poor health care, and cruel disciplinary actions. And the last is the prison suicide. Prison suicide only proves that prison life is really stressful, ladies and gentlemen, members of this house. This is committed by prisoners who are embarrassed by the disgrace they brought upon their families, the sense of helplessness and lack of control over their life. And there are also some that wanted to have that, that wanted to commit or to be involved in riots. In prison, Mr. Adjudicator, ladies and gentlemen, members of this house, everyone has peace. Not emotionally or psychologically, but in a practical matter. If you don't threaten someone at the very least, you will be the one to be threatened. That is very true, ladies and gentlemen, inside the prison. Many times you have to prey on someone, or else you will be preyed on yourself. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, members of this house, especially